Low pressure continues to hover over the North Island. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. It was a wet and windy night for the upper North Island. We had strong gusts, well over gale force, power cuts and heavy rain as a result of this low which has come out of the subtropics. Now, the centre of the low is stuck over Northland pretty much for the entire day. We've got heavy rain sliding down the east coast and a little bit of drizzly stuff coming down towards the eastern and northeastern sides of the South Island. On the wind map, you can see it a little clearer where the strong winds are. So they've shifted down here overnight. Last night they were up here. They've gone down the island, now around the lower part of the North Island. But there's also some windy weather still around the centre. So it might just be a little bit blustery at times, especially around Great Barrier Island, parts of Coromandel, eastern Waikato, and maybe still some parts of Auckland and Northland as well, although as you can see, fairly calm in the centre and fairly calm around the South Island. But when you take a look at the air pressure map, you can see very clearly where the low is and where higher pressure is, which is all down here in the yellow colouring. So this is definitely a pretty large low, but it does move away fairly soon. So here is Wednesday's setup. And by lunchtime Wednesday, the centre of that low has only moved from Northland to East Cape. So that's why we've got another 24 to 36 hours of wind and rain. But you'll notice on Wednesday, there's a windier southwest change. That'll be blustery in Auckland. And again, might be a couple of power cuts as gales continue to blow through. Similar story around Northland and some parts of Waikato. Other parts of the North Island will be blustery as well as the system moves away. But it's worth noting that it's already at its peak right now, Tuesday. By Wednesday, the air pressure is already starting to fill up, so it is on its way to weaken and fall apart as we go towards Thursday. And here is Thursday's map. What low? That's the last of it there. So clears away. So we've got another day or so, then it moves away. Then we get the westerlies starting to come back. There's a high just north of New Zealand there, but really it's the low in the Tasman. And when we get to Friday, you can see what's going on. There's another low forming. A burst of heavy rain coming back to the west coast. Rain warnings will be quite likely, and you'll find the windy nor'westers will push northwards. There'll be gale force in some areas, and to be honest with you, they are going to kick off. Well, we're about to be kicked off again with the westerly wind flow. We've really had a variety lately. We had the southerlies last week. Now we're going back to westerlies. So when we get into the weekend, Saturday sees west to northwest winds around most of the country. In fact, might be a little bit southwest in some areas, so we'll just call it a westerly quarter wind. And that will push up temperatures in the east of both islands and also keep it dry. And our final map for Sunday shows pretty much the same thing. High pressure in Australia is sliding this way as we go into next week. That encourages more of the windy westerlies, which to be honest we haven't really had for the last few weeks. So to get them blowing back again is kind of normal for this time of the year, and they'll be strongest around the usual places, Cook Strait and the Southern Alps and down around Stewart Island. That is all from me for today. We'll update you again on Wednesday as we get closer to that drier, warmer weather we've got coming, at least for the North Island, around Thursday and Friday. That's all from me. Our next update around lunchtime Wednesday.